Hello ladies and welcome to the channel. Beware the fury of a patient woman. John Dryden. When a Sigma female gets mad, it's not a spectacle of screaming and theatrics. It's something far more unsettling, a quiet storm that simmers beneath the surface. Her anger isn't loud, but its impact is undeniable. What makes it so bizarre, so utterly captivating, is the way she channels it. From the outside, you might not even notice it at first, until you realize the atmosphere has shifted, and you're no longer in control. The truth is, a Sigma female's rage doesn't look like anger at all. It's calculated, strategic, and disarmingly silent. But don't mistake that for weakness. The weird things that happen when she's mad will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about power, patience, and control. Number 1. They become tactical masterminds, weighing, diffuse, deflect, or destroy. When a Sigma female gets mad, her reaction isn't driven by pure emotion. Instead, her mind clicks into a kind of high-level strategy mode. In that split second of anger, she's already running through different scenarios, figuring out the best course of action. Should she diffuse the situation, subtly deflect the tension elsewhere, or completely destroy what stands in her way? It's almost like watching a chess grandmaster contemplating her next move, except her decision isn't just about winning a game, it's about maintaining control. She doesn't lash out impulsively because that would mean giving up her power. Instead, she calmly assesses the potential fallout of every choice she could make. If she decides to diffuse the situation, it's not because she's backing down, it's because it serves her long-term interests. If she deflects, she's steering the conversation or conflict in a direction that benefits her, leaving others none the wiser. And if she chooses destruction, well, she's already calculated the cost and decided it's worth it. This ability to toggle between these options makes her anger unpredictable, and that's what catches people off guard. You never know if she's going to play it cool, turn the tables, or completely dismantle everything in her path. What's most unnerving is how quickly she moves from emotion to logic, leaving no trace of vulnerability behind. Number 2, silence becomes her weapon of mass destruction. When a Sigma female is mad, she doesn't need to shout, throw insults, or create a scene. Instead, she lets silence do the talking, and somehow, that's far more unsettling. Her silence isn't an absence of communication, it's a deliberate and powerful move. It leaves the other person hanging, unsure of what she's thinking or what might come next. And that uncertainty, it eats away at them. In a world where most people rush to fill the quiet with explanations, defenses, or apologies, her decision to say nothing is almost unnerving. She's not giving anyone the satisfaction of a reaction, and that drives them crazy. The silence becomes a vacuum, pulling in all the insecurity, doubt, and guilt of those around her. Her quiet isn't a retreat, it's a tactic. It forces the other person to confront their own actions, their own words, and in that void, they often unravel. The silence is controlled, cold, and sharp. It's not about ignoring the situation. It's about controlling it. By saying nothing, she says everything. Her silence commands attention, and those on the receiving end often feel the weight of it more than they would any argument or outburst. That's the genius of it. Without lifting a finger, without uttering a single word, she turns the entire situation in her favor. Number 3, she holds back the beast, but you know it's there. When a Sigma female is mad, there's a force inside her that she keeps tightly controlled, a raw, intense energy that could easily be unleashed but rarely is. You can sense it, though. It's like standing near a coiled spring, knowing it could snap at any moment, but it doesn't. She holds back because she understands that letting her inner monster loose would create more damage than it's worth. The restraint itself becomes a display of her strength. That inner beast is always there, lurking, ready to tear through the situation, but she doesn't let it. She chooses to keep it in check because she knows that unleashing it would be chaotic, uncontrolled, and ultimately destructive. But don't mistake her control for weakness. It's actually far more intimidating. The fact that she completely lose it, that she wreak havoc if she wanted to but not to, leaves a lasting impression on those around her. People are left wondering just how much power she's keeping hidden, and that uncertainty is what makes her so formidable. Her anger, when tightly controlled, speaks volumes. It's not about venting or raging. It's about showing that she has complete mastery over herself, even in the heat of the moment. And that's far more terrifying than any emotional outburst could ever be. Number 4. She walks away, but not for the reasons you think. When a Sigma female decides to walk away in the middle of an argument or tense situation, it's not about giving up or retreating. It's a calculated move. She knows when staying would only add fuel to the fire. And instead of getting dragged into a pointless back and forth, she chooses to remove herself from the situation. But walking away doesn't mean the conflict is over. In fact, it's often just the beginning of her next move. Her exit isn't a sign of defeat. It's a way to regain control. By walking away, she creates space to think, strategize, and figure out her next step without the noise of the confrontation clouding her judgment. What makes this so unsettling for others is that they're left hanging, unsure of what she's planning. Her silence after walking away leaves them wondering if she's going to come back stronger, more prepared, or simply cut ties without a second thought. People often misread her exit as a sign of weakness, but that's a mistake. She's simply choosing the high ground. She knows that by stepping away, she's saving her energy for battles that truly matter, and when she re-enters the picture, if she chooses to, she's always 2 steps ahead. Walking away gives her the upper hand, and those left behind are often left feeling powerless, not knowing what to expect next. Number 5. Their ego never takes the wheel. When a Sigma female gets mad, her ego never takes center stage. Unlike most people who let their pride dictate their reactions, she doesn't feel the need to defend her status or prove anything. That's what makes her so different. Her decisions in moments of anger aren't clouded by the need to be right or to come out on top in some ego-driven contest. Instead, she operates from a place of clarity and self-assurance. Her anger is never about her own vanity or how others perceive her. She's not driven by the need to protect her image or reputation. This lack of ego makes her approach intense situations unsettling to those who expect a more predictable emotional response. People are often caught off guard when they realize she's not reacting out of pride. She's calculating, thoughtful, and doesn't allow herself to be baited into petty battles. By removing ego from the equation, she sees the bigger picture. She's not concerned with winning the argument for the sake of her own self-importance. She's concerned with resolving the issue in a way that benefits her long-term goals. This level of detachment allows her to handle anger in a way that's almost clinical, stripping away the emotional theatrics that so many people rely on. Her ability to keep her ego out of it means she never loses sight of what really matters, and that gives her a level of control and power that others simply don't have. Number 6. She forgives with razor-sharp precision, but never forgets. When a Sigma female forgives, it's not because she's letting someone off the hook. She forgives because she chooses to, but that doesn't mean she forgets. In fact, she holds on to that memory with razor-sharp precision. She can move past the issue on the surface, but deep down, she keeps track of who wronged her and how. This isn't about holding a grudge, it's about protecting herself from future harm. Her forgiveness isn't naive, it's strategic. She knows that carrying the weight of anger forever only burdens her, so she lets it go. But forgetting? That's a different story. She won't make the same mistake twice, and those who've wronged her rarely get a second chance. People often mistake her forgiveness for weakness, but they couldn't be more wrong. She forgives to free herself, not to excuse the behavior. What makes this so intriguing is how she can forgive and still stay vigilant. She's fully capable of moving forward without letting her guard down, and those who underestimate her because she's chosen to forgive are in for a rude awakening. She'll never be caught off guard again, and the next time someone tries to cross her, they'll find a much sharper, much less forgiving side of her. Number 7. Her anger becomes rocket fuel for personal growth. When a Sigma female gets angry, she doesn't let it consume her. Instead, she channels that anger into something productive, using it as a powerful force for growth. Where others might be blinded by rage or let it eat away at them, she sees anger as fuel. It becomes a driving force, pushing her to improve, to overcome, and to rise above whatever triggered her in the first place. Her anger doesn't simmer or fester, it transforms. She uses it to motivate herself, to sharpen her focus, and to push her limits. It's not about revenge or proving someone wrong. It's about becoming better, stronger, and more resilient. The weird thing is that while most people would be stuck in the emotional chaos, she's already moved on, using the experience to evolve. Her ability to turn negative emotions into positive outcomes is what sets her apart. She doesn't waste time dwelling on the anger. She turns it into action. Whether it's achieving a new goal, learning a new skill, or simply becoming more self-aware, her anger becomes a tool for her growth. And once that anger is harnessed, she comes out the other side stronger, more determined, and completely unshaken by what once upset her. A Sigma female's anger is unlike anything most people expect. It's not wild or uncontrolled. It's calculated, precise, and often leaves people unnerved in ways they can't quite put into words. From weaponizing silence to walking away with purpose, every move she makes when she's mad is rooted in strategy. But perhaps the most remarkable thing is her ability to transform anger into growth, using it as fuel to better herself rather than letting it tear her down. Her anger isn't just about the moment, it's about long-term mastery over both herself and the situation. In the end, her rage isn't her weakness, it's her edge. If you're captivated by the extraordinary ways Sigma females navigate their anger and want to dive deeper into understanding their unique power, don't miss out. Subscribe to our channel. By joining us, you'll get exclusive insights into the most intriguing aspects of Sigma personalities and other fascinating topics. Stay ahead of the curve and never miss a moment of our exceptional content. Hit that subscribe button now and be part of a community that truly gets it.